Hey Amazon, I thought I'd do a quick review on these four TAC force knives. You see them, they're pretty popular, they're really cheap. On my left we have the 702, and then this is the 711, 705, and the 707. They all have what's called the speed force, which is it's a a speed assist for the knife, so it pops open. And you just push the little back edge and the knife just pops open, which is nice. Overall, what I've found is that these knives are not made very well. The steel on the blade is just not very sharp. On this one in particular, you can see that they didn't even bother to sharpen the serrated edge. It still has the black from the labeling on it, so that's not very sharp at all either. I did a paper test with this, and it just tore through the paper. It wasn't razor sharp. You can see right now I'm just basically touching it. I've actually sharpened this particular knife, try to get as sharp as it can be, and it's just not sharp. It is a very cool looking knife. I actually really like the look of this knife. I was hoping it'd be better. The action on it is actually pretty good. It really has a nice pop to it, and the sleeve lock. All these knives are sleeve locked, by the way, but the sleeve lock on this one is particularly nice on it. This one is the 705. It's probably my second favorite knife in the set, just because it has a cool look. So this police thing, I think, kind of makes it look, cheap. I don't know why they would put that on there, but it also flips open. There's not a lot of play in the blade, which is nice. The one I like about this one is it's uneven on each side, so you actually have real easy access to the sleeve lock, so it's really easy to close with one hand. One weird thing about this knife, though, is they decided to put a bottle opener. You see right there, it didn't quite open all the way to lock, so it actually manually engaged the lock. They put a bottle opener on this side, but when you're trying to use the bottle opener, do not have very big hands, but you can see my pinky is basically going into the blade. So if I'm trying to put leverage to open a bottle, I might cut myself. And I know I said they're not very sharp, but see, they actually sharpen this one. They sharpen the serrated edge, and it's a little bit sharper than the other knife on this one. So it doesn't seem like you should ever use the bottle opener. Oh, another thing these knives all have as a feature, I put feature in quotes, is they all claim to have a glass breaker on the bottom. I have not tried breaking any car windows with these, but I wouldn't try it. I mean, maybe it might be nice to have there, but I don't really see it as a feature. Usually you can have a knife, it's going to be just to cut things, and it seems like they tacked it on every single one of these knives just to say they have it. Alright, this is the TAC 711. This is probably my least favorite knife of the set. It looks cool if you're to the military, kind of thing, but that's about it. The blade opens the same. All these knives have that same, speed open thing, but this top is just decorative. It's made to look like an army combat knife, but real military knives would be like a saw or serrated edge or something. But this does absolutely nothing. And see, this knife too, they didn't bother to polish up the serrated edge either. But the worst thing about this knife is this lock right here, the sleeve lock. See, there's no cutaway to get to it, and the tension on it is actually really high. I actually need to go in there with my other hand to push it in. And that probably could just be difference in manufacturing, but from what I found, this one is just really hard to close especially with one hand. And finally, this is the 702. It looks really nice. This is the gray version. Oh, I forgot to mention, these two sport seatbelt cutters, just right here and right here. So supposedly, if you're in a pinch, that's supposed to be able to cut the seatbelt. Again, I have not tried this. I've never been in a car accident or needed to cut a seatbelt. But might work as a good letter opener, maybe. I don't know. This one also has the speed release, and this one This one, unlike the other ones, actually has a thumb release, so you can actually push it open like a thumb, or a regular, like any other sleeve locking knife. The bad thing about this though is if you do it that way, you see it's not actually engaging the lock. I can push this almost all the way back with my, it's really hard to get to engage the lock if I just use my thumb. You can hear the play on it. It's just not engaging the lock even though I'm pushing it all the way back. It's probably, like I said, probably just errors in manufacturing, because these are pretty cheap knives. So if you do the speed lock, it usually engages. But there's still a lot of play. This type in particular has probably the most play of any of the knives in this particular collection. Also, again, no cutaway on the sleeve lock, so it can be a bit troublesome to close with one hand. So yeah, that's this knife. Like I said, so my favorite knife of this set is mostly this one, mostly because of the look and feel. It is not very practical. This dagger edge really only gives you this tiny little portion of real knife to use. So you won't be opening boxes with it, because when you try to use it, any leverage, you're going to try to put it here, and it's just not going to work. Also, I question how sturdy this is right here, so I probably wouldn't do it. And it's kind of nice because you can put a finger through there and get a little more leverage or whatever, but I could see it potentially breaking because it's just stainless steel. It's not particularly strong. Just from the quality materials all around being this price range. But yeah, it does, of the ones I have, this one probably looks the coolest and definitely has the best feel and weight to it. So if you want a cheap knife and you want something that looks cool, probably go with this one. If you want something that's going to be a little more practical, this one's probably the one you would go. You can get the gray one, which doesn't have the police thing on it, so it won't look quite as tacky. This one's probably a better knife overall, just because it has the typical knife edge, and also this one has the, they call it the eyelet, so you can, I don't know, you could try to open it that way, but it doesn't really open that way. Not kind of enough leverage. But honestly, if you're looking for a knife that's really inexpensive, I wouldn't go with any of these. I got this Bear Grylls knife. It's a little more expensive than these. Probably like twice as much as like that one. But for under 20 bucks, I thought this was actually a pretty decent knife. It's got a rubbery grip. It kind of looks and feels a little bit cheap, but the blade is quite sharp and it opens, pretty nice. And you got a lot of edge to work with. It's very sharp. It's very little play in the blade. The only thing I don't like about this knife is that it has the thing back here to release it. So you really need two hands to close it, or you gotta do one of those numbers where, having trouble opening it right there. You gotta do those numbers where you push it and then like tap it down on something, and then close it. But yeah, this just has a better feel to it overall, and I would recommend this one over any of these, just because this actually feels like a knife and is sharp to cut through cardboard and stuff. These other ones, yeah, they can cut, but I did like the paper test on these and they just tore through paper, whereas this one actually kind of razor cut through paper. So yeah, there you have it. Hopefully I gave you some information you can use to make some good buying decisions. See you later.